What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, raised by three Trillo OGs, three Trillo G's, my mama, my grandmother, and my pops. Please make sure you follow at EMAC Stats for all your up-to-date high school, professional, and collegiate sports coverage. We'll not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date on all that's going on in this beautiful sports world that we have going on. As always, I'm just one person. I am Nathaniel on the podcast with all my brethren. So, fellas, please introduce yourself to the beautiful listeners.
Hey man, Sean Hart is the charismatic hood excellence at his finest, aka Big Brother Iron Man, sir. Reporting live for duty, man. Let's go.
Yo, it's the one and only. It's the host with the most that blows the most smoke. Black Peace, the rap plug, the hip hop plug. You already know. You should go check me out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast from. That's where you can find me at, man. Let's go.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. I am Sedacious Xavier Miles. Go follow me at Sedacious on Instagram and on Twitter. In behalf of me and my brothers, I want to say thank you so much. Let's go, bro.
Alrighty then, beautiful people. So this podcast is all things NFL divisional round. I don't believe the conversation is going.
Are we just gonna skip me?
Oh, you didn't introduce yourself?
No, bro. Just
look,
went.
In my defense, the only reason I started is because Sedacious went, and I know he's last week by Q. So that's not my fault.
My bad. That's on me.
That's a man.
I fuck with
like, dang, go,
I fuck with the bag. My bad.
That's
jumping the gun, but I tell you, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Coach Johnson. I am here I am the husband of Jordan. I'm the father of proper induced. I'm here to bring just a slight bit of controversy to help you reason out your thoughts just a little bit better and help you see the game the right way. Take it away, Edward.
The disrespect just started off early. That's on Sedacious. That's not my fault.
Got a lot more of that where it's coming from.
All right, so we're gonna start it off. Listeners, y'all could give y'all answer to this question in the comment section. I'm going to start off with Black Peace Darnell. If you had to pick today, who do you want to lead your team, your football team? Out of two players, two quarterbacks, Josh Allen or Dak Prescott, who would you pick, Darnell?
Ooh, on the spot. Dak Prescott or one more time?
Josh Allen.
I'm about to say Josh Allen, man. Yeah.
Okay, that's
I
Josh
have
Allen.
to say Josh Allen.
Sean Hart is Josh Allen or Dak Prescott to lead your team?
I'm gonna go with Josh Allen.
Coach Johnson, Josh Allen or Dak Prescott to lead your football club?
This question is about the same as the Patrick Mahomes or Kirk Cousins question that was asked a couple weeks ago. Obviously, Josh Allen.
All right. That brings us to, for the record, I would choose Josh Allen over Dak Prescott. That brings us to Sedacious Miles, a diehard Cowboys fan.
Woo.
Before I even give you the question, so you have time to ponder on it if you feel like you need to, but just Josh Allen, we've seen the dual shootout he had against the Chiefs. It has been stated by Sedacious, Josh Allen has been coveted in a system where his flaws can be covered up by a great defense, number one defense in the Bills, who gave up 42 points against the Chiefs, and that's a great defense. 42 overall, overtime, 36 in regulation. It is stated by Sedacious, hey, Josh Allen is only who y'all think he is because of Stephon Diggs being a great and elite receiver in the NFL. Without Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen would be irrelevant in this football league. So you go to a high profile game going against the Chiefs, divisional round. hey, dog, Stephon Diggs, there's no Josh Allen. Then you go look at Josh Allen's stats: 329 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And Stephon Diggs only has 3 receptions for 7 yards. So he was able to come up with well over 90% of his passing yards and his success without Stephon Diggs. Um, so with that information, him excelling without Stephon Diggs, him excelling despite his defense not playing that great or giving up as many points as they did. Sedacious, right now, as it is presently constructed to lead your football club, Josh Allen or Dak Prescott?
You an MFer. That's okay. You an MFer. That's okay. But I mean, I'm a real N word, so I'm gonna have to go with the boy Josh. Man, I ain't gonna lie.
Hey!
I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, yeah. I mean, I don't want to say too much about my quarterback because he's still my quarterback. But you know, as it stands, Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. So now, you know, don't get me wrong. You know, Dak is still, to me especially, but pause. But you know, Josh Allen hard. No, this Chiefs game did it for me. I'm not gonna lie. When I watched this Chiefs game, I was like, okay, yeah, no, I gotta stop playing because it's a difference between like, you know what I'm saying, being like just ignorant to the fact and like seeing it and you know what I'm saying, it's still like, you know what I'm saying, like not. But yeah, Josh Allen, yeah, he's a good quarterback. You know, and he's like it's almost like every game, you know, so he like powered up more and more and more. So that's good to see. But yeah, you got me on record. I won't say a whole bunch of curse words, but I won't. But yeah.
Yeah, man, this podcast is going to be easier than I thought, to be honest with you. Yeah, it brings me joy that you have finally put respect on Josh Allen's name. Like you say, you could be ignorant to the fact and just be a hater, but you finally put some respect on his name. Josh Allen so far 3-3 in the playoffs out of 6 games, and Dak Prescott is only 1-4. That game against the Chiefs that just passed, he had 136 passer rating. And for Dak Prescott, his highest passer rating in the playoffs, 2016 season, it was a 103.2. So yeah, man. I mean, besides the playoffs and the regular season, Josh Allen is that guy compared to Dak Prescott. But so they should admit that, fans, please, our listeners, let us know who y'all pick, Josh Allen or Dak Prescott. I mean, shoot, since we're on this Chiefs game, who wants to tackle it first? Hold on. Before we go there, Coach Johnson, I know you said you had a revelation you wanted to reveal. I don't know if that's pertaining to the Chiefs or not. If it's not, you can talk about it later. But if it is, you can talk about it.
It is pertaining to the Chiefs. It's pertaining to one player. So I'm preface it with my last coaching gig. Our head coach told me one day, he was like, "Man, Coach Johnson, you have a high football IQ. You're really good at scheme, you know, especially from the offensive side of the ball, but even from special teams point of view. You're really, really good at teaching the players and getting them to do the things that you want them to do, but you are terrible at personnel." And I couldn't realize it, or at least I didn't understand why. I knew why he was saying it, but I couldn't understand why I was so bad at personnel until this weekend when I was thinking about Travis Kelce, right? Because I was trying to think, even before I had my little hot take that obviously went wrong prior to this year, or prior to the beginning of the season, I really didn't like Travis Kelce. I was like, I knew, that he was productive on the field. I didn't really like him, and I couldn't understand why. And I was like, oh, I get it now. I get it. I am such an idealist, and I'm such a, root for, hey, things supposed to go this way, bam, bam. You're supposed to, 8-yard route. You're supposed to do it 8 yards and do it this way, and then turn around at this spot and cut clean here, right? And Travis Kelce does not do that. But Travis Kelce is a master at just, hey, I'm just gonna get open. He's a master at it. He is a master at it. And so which was obvious on that the play to get them in the field goal range. And he does that all the time, and it does not look like it's drawn up on the whiteboard. And a part of me that just irks the crap out of me. A part of me that just irks the crap out of me because I'm like, hey, Airbnb has spent many hours on the whiteboard trying to scheme you up, and you just throw that out the window and say, okay, hey, look, I'm just going to drop right here in this zone. And so that's, yeah, it's beautiful, especially when it works, but it works often, but it's not whiteboard consistent. So that's all. So yeah. So because of stuff like that, that's why I have some terrible takes when it comes to personnel stuff. But I'm glad Travis Kelce was able to help me to grow in that department this weekend. So
what I hear you saying is you're more so of a textbook guy, and maybe another analogy that I take from what you said is you're more of a color within the lines, none of that abstract stuff outside of the lines with other different colors. You don't want a Picasso. You want A, B, C, D, and the colors are supposed to be put inside these color shades type of guy.
Yep.
Hey, War, you got to learn about Coach Johnson today. Count your blessings. Nah, man. Hey, Coach Johnson, I give you high praise for revealing that, being transparent about that. Because it's easy to be like, hey, man, yeah, so much for Travis Kelce falling off that cliff, and even for you to even furthermore just be like, I ain't like him because I ain't really like the routes, but but yeah, respect to you for that, man. Much respect to you for that. Was this a great offensive battle, or was this poor defensive assignment when you talk about this Bills Chiefs game?
I think it was great offense the last 10 minutes of the game. I think the defense is, for the first 3 quarters, actually played pretty sound. I mean, if you look at the quarter box scores, right? You had first quarter 7-7, second quarter 7-7, third quarter 7-9, and then an explosion in the fourth quarter, and really in the last 5 minutes or so, where the defense is just, the offensive power just happened to take over. You had coverage busts on both ends that started to happen. Both. I mean, it's a combination of the two. Both offenses finally started to try to, strike it while it's hot. They stopped trying to get cute. They started to, hey, you know what? Let's put the ball in our best players' hands, right? And then, when it counted, right? So they didn't, hey, on 3rd and 2, let's not. Hey, on 3rd and 2, how about this? We're the Bills. Let's hand it off to our guy who is not really a polished receiver or not really a great running back, but he was a good track guy. So on 3rd and 2, let's give it to him, instead of giving it to our 6'5", 245-pound quarterback who's been running all over the defense. Oh, dang it, on 4th and 1, let's punt. Oh, hey, we're the Chiefs. Hey, look, hey, we don't want Patrick Mahomes doing a quarterback sneak. So we got Blake Bell. He used to play quarterback. He's going to do it. It's 3rd and 1, and Tyreek Hill just almost scored on a punt return, and we're going to run the ball 3 times in the red zone. We're not going to let Patrick Mahomes touch the ball at all. We're going to give it to Blake Bell, and he's going to run the option. And oh snap, we lose 4 yards. Hey, we got to kick the field goal. None of that happens in the 4th quarter. In the 4th quarter, they were like, okay, hey, you know what? Give the ball to our guys and let our guys showed up, and then that made the defense look stupid. And it was nice to see. It was incredible to see these boys battle it out. So, but you did have some coverage busts at the end of the game, though. It was pretty bad on the Chiefs. Gabriel Davis is good. I'm done. Gabriel Davis is good. He's not 4 touchdowns, 200 yards good.
With Travis Kelce being unique of a player like that, I just think it breeds certain moments to where, hey, look, I can go off schedule. Maybe, certain routes and certain players and certain teams, and we see it all the time. You play it by the book so much, you can run right into coverage and, you force your quarterback to, thread the needle and make mistakes that he doesn't necessarily have to make if you make an intelligent enough football play. But a lot of the times, that quarterback and tight end or quarterback receiver connection isn't as, kinetic or magnetic as Kelce and Mahomes is. They always, seemingly on the same page, right? Always wanting to, hey, one band, one sound. I already used the Big Brother Iron Man reference, earlier. And I just think, like I said, they on one accord. But, man, you want to talk about the Chiefs just, being who I thought they were. Let's talk about it. Like, my God, this man Patrick, I've never seen anything like it. Like, I don't want to say it because it's too early. I don't want to be Nick Wright on the show per se and just be a homer. But Patrick Mahomes, outside of Tom Brady, because Tom Brady is like at that God level that MJ is at as far as like with basketball. You want to put him aside, bro, he's the most clutch player that I've ever seen. And he's only been in the league 4 or 5 years. It's absolutely unreal what he's done in the most pressurized situations. The lowest accomplishment that he has had with the ending of a season is ending it in the AFC Championship game. I just want that to sink in with everybody. Like, that's like his floor. Like, if I don't do else and, the season don't go the way I want it to go, we losing the AFC Championship game. Some teams never reach it. Texans have never been there as a franchise. We've been around for 20 plus years. He's been there 4 times. Or this is going to be 4, because it's coming. We know. You better know. But, just a complete, like you said, Coach, explosion in the 4th quarter. Just a complete command of the offense. And I want to give my kudos and flowers to Josh Allen right now because, like everybody did, come to the consensus, man, he's a top 5 quarterback in the league, hands down, right? Like he cemented that, with this playoff run, and I feel like that just speaks to the greatness even more of Patrick Mahomes. That's why you pay this man $500 million. That's why you do it, literally for like 2 nights ago. That's why you do that. That's why you pay that man $500 million, because nobody else on planet Earth could have came back. 13 seconds, number 1 defense in the league, number 1 in points allowed, number 1 in yards allowed. That same defense, yeah, I'm going to go down the field in 13 seconds and get us in field goal range, and you're not going to touch the ball in OT, and we're going to kill you. And by the way, the Chiefs campaigned for the rules to be different so the other team could have a chance. And to all the people that's on Twitter, on social media going crazy, they really need to change the rules. The Chiefs campaigned and banged on the table for the rules to be changed. And what the Bills do and the rest of the league, unanimously vote against it. We don't want to do that. And guess what? You made that bet a couple years ago, and Patrick Mahomes just tuck y'all behind in tonight. That's exactly what he did. And that's all she wrote, man. This dude is legendary. Just never seen anything like it. What can you say? If you don't think the Chiefs win in the Super Bowl after that, I'm sorry. I don't even know if I respect you. I don't know. We just have to have a talk one-on-one, man to man. See, I don't know if you got something going on at the house. I don't know. I really don't. because Matthew Stafford ain't that. No other quarterback that's left is like that. And I love Joe Burrow, but he's not that.
Well, so
I want to leave room for everybody else to talk before I respond.
Just saying.
okay. So you said a lot of good stuff, Izzo. I think the crowning of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl or winning it all, I think, and I'm just like assuming from your mind, just like all what you said, I think that has more to do with their resume before what just happened recently to be like, oh, okay, they're back in rap form like they've always been. But you talk about like nobody being at his like clutch level, so to speak. Whereas, what's his name?
And I put Brady aside.
Yeah, nah, right. Throwing Brady aside, we don't even touch Brady. But Matthew Stafford has the most comeback drives in the league since he came into the league. I know people may not care, but just for the sake
And how many playoff wins?
none
He
of
just got some playoff wins.
just recently, yeah. I mean, but you know, just nitpicking at that, and so Christian, I come back to you. Whereas obviously we talked about the holes of the Chiefs, so on and so forth, and I don't know how you may view this now. You said starting off, hey, the way to beat them, or hey, one of their flaws may be they just have Travis, they just have Tyreek. You know, if other guys don't step up, the Chiefs will plummet. Kind of saw that a little bit in the Super Bowl last year. And so I know every time I bring it up, I bring up the stats to just be like, oh, Jerry McKinnon, 5 receptions, 54 yards, 7 targets. Byron Pringle, 5 receptions, 29 yards, 1 touchdown. Mecole Hardman, 1 reception, 26 yards. Noah Gray, 2 receptions, 14 yards, and so on and so forth. Like, when you hear that compared to maybe what you see or maybe just hearing those stats, do you consider that the other guys stepping up aside from Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, or do you say it doesn't really matter what they did because Tyreek Hill had 11 receptions for 150 yards and 1 touchdown, and Travis Kelce had 8 receptions for 96 yards and 1 touchdown?
If we're just talking about, really, I'll say the playoffs, because the Chiefs in the playoffs are not what the Chiefs were during the regular season. But the first 3 names that you brought up, Byron Pringle, Jared McKinnon, and Mecole Hardman. Now, Jared McKinnon was not slotted to start at the beginning of the year. I forgot he was even on the roster. He is the best running back on the team. That's clear. It should be clear to everybody. He is a dog. And so I probably would have changed my tone a little bit if I would have realized that they were going to use him like he's been used the past few weeks. But he's a dog. As far as Byron Pringle and Mecole Hardman, hey, they stepped up. First touchdown. Byron Pringle went up and got that joint. Mecole Hardman shot out of a mother freaking cannon. I mean, this was a 2-yard game, and next thing I know, he's running for 40 yards. That's what he was drafted to do, stuff like that. And so, I believe those guys stepping up in the moments that they did early on in the game allowed Kelce and Hill to have the dominant second half performances that they did, because now the Bills have to be worried about everybody, right? Hey, we try to take away Hill, try to take away Kelce. Okay, Byron Pringle scores. Okay, Jerry McKinnon's killing us. Okay, dadgum, there go Mecole Hardman. All right, and then, next thing you know, okay, they go to Cheetah for 68 yards. And so step up, and it looks like they're coming in the rare form. I mean, they are looking very, very scary right now for the rest of the field. Now, as far as crowning them Super Bowl champions right now, I don't know if we can do that, but they are looking very scary right now. So, yeah, I will say that. Noah Gray though, I mean, 2-14. I don't know.
Yeah, I think my last thing to add to the Chiefs Bills, unless anybody has something.
Oh, something real quick. I do want to throw some respect out to somebody else. I was dogging Orlando Brown on the pod pretty much all year, and all season. I mean, hey, now look. Orlando Brown did not play like he was worth that first round pick. Premier left tackle all season now, but he was dogging the heck out of whoever that was at the end for the Bills. There was a couple times during the broadcast where he was literally dogging. I was watching the game with my neighbor. I was like, "Yo, bro, watch Orlando Brown." He was dogging him. I think according to PFF, he was the second highest graded tackle or the first highest graded tackle behind Trent Williams for this past weekend. He balled out. So hey, if the Chiefs can get from all the guys, right? Obviously, if Pat can play like that and not play like he played during the regular season, if we can get from Tyreek what we get from Tyreek and Travis what we get from him, and then the other guys can step up. If we get McKinnon, Hardman, Pringle, Orlando Brown to step up like he did this past weekend, the Chiefs are not going to be beat. The thing with the Chiefs is, hey, can they be consistent for a full game when it counts? If they play like they did during the wild card weekend, they play like that this past weekend.
A full game, but when it counts, though. That's kind of like an oxymoron. Either it's the full game or it's when it counts. Or does the full game?
So okay. What I meant by that. So when it counts, saying what I meant by the when it counts is against teams that can take advantage of them slipping, right? So, the like you didn't say it on the pod. You said it before in the pre-pod. There was a 99.8% chance or whatever that they were about to lose this game. Right. They didn't play perfectly through the whole game. Okay. That just needs to be stated. They did not play perfectly through the whole game, whether that's play calling, whether that's stuff from different players. They did not play perfectly. They did not look like a perfect team out there during the whole game. Okay. They did have a 99.8% chance to lose the game with 13 seconds left. It does need to be stated. Number two, though, if they would have played it how they played in the first half of the Steelers game, they would play that same way this past week, they would have got mollywopped off the field. Now they didn't play that way through the first half. They were still consistent. Mahomes had a look in his eyes. What I'm saying is,
Coach, what I think people want to hear is people want to talk about the Chiefs in a positive light and not hang out around this.
Look. I'm here to bring a little bit of balance.
I want to be fruitful when I speak, and I want to speak.
I got you. I want to be a little bit balanced.
And brother, and I get that.
I
just don't think we
are making
end
it prime
on a
fruit.
sour note. It was a bit somber as you spoke those things about the stats and then they didn't really play good.
Isaac, you have to also consider that he's gonna harp on the flaws of the Chiefs because he would love to see them dethroned.
True,
so,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying it to the tune of how he, I just felt as though as we transition, onto, bigger and better things, I just felt like a positive spin ending the Chiefs would be more fitting.
Yeah, I've been positive. I said, hey, they play like that, they will be Super Bowl champs. But we need to understand that the Chiefs have a history of throwing in a towel for a couple of quarters.
So I'll say a couple things and we'll get off of them.
Tyron was hurt in the secondary, which is why I feel like if Tyron was healthy, they don't get those throws off, but I digress.
I believe one of the most underrated quotes or terms or adages on the podcast comes from Isaac and talking about being situationally great. So guys may take plays off, or teams may take plays off. They may look a little somber. They may look like they are incohesive of, putting together good drives. But when the time is called, will they answer the bell? And thus far, the Chiefs have been doing that. And you could even argue if or when they get to the Super Bowl, you could be bad for 3 quarters, but if the other team isn't able to capitalize on that and you're able to pull off a championship, people are not going to say you was trash for 3 quarters. They're going to say you won a Super Bowl.
They are going to sing your praises.
All right. Winning cures all. Winning covers up all. I was thinking about what you said, Coach Johnson, when you were saying that the coach that you was with was telling me, man, you are terrible at personnel. And I think about, I don't know if you got this same quote from that coach or from that time. Me and you was having a conversation, and it was just like, hey, sometimes when the game is on the line, you, textbook, plays, personnel, I guess if you run the right route, the way I drew it up, I guess I'll deal with you. When the game is on the line, sometimes you don't call plays, you call the plays.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to keep that in your head, Coach. You got to, man.
Nah. I mean, that would be synonymous with what I said earlier about the both teams getting too cute. Hey, put the ball in your best player's hands. So
yeah. But no, great conversation on that. Let's move along. Bucks Rams. So Coach Johnson, Black Peace. You were not sure why you were picking against Tom Brady. I know Izzo, you had the clause on whether or not Worse was or was not going to play. He ended up not playing. You said if he didn't play, he was going to ride out with the Rams. He didn't play. Obviously, the Bucks lost that game. Black Peace, I don't know if it was a hunch, if it was your spidey senses. Like, what made you choose against Brady and inevitably come out right with that decision?
One thing I felt like this is too good of a year for the Bucks, and it felt like they went too easily last year. I felt like they had a struggle to make the playoffs more competitive for their own selves, and also let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Antonio Brown is not there when they needed an extra weapon. Now, despite his antics and so on and so forth, they needed one more weapon to just kind of like edge out that team. That team is stacked on offense and defense with superstars. Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Odell Beckham Jr., Stafford. I even give Akers a little credit. And of course, Cup, of course. So it's just like I looked at it and I'm like, dude, like only way I can see them winning is if who gets the ball last. And I'm not putting it past fearless Stafford at this point. Stafford he's gonna nut up and shut up. So giving him the chance to be that guy, I was like, yeah, he's that guy to do it. There's a lot of times in the AFC, a lot of quarterbacks wasn't up to the talent. Stafford never ever got the chance to step up to the talent. So, I was like, go hard or go home.
Right on. I was looking at that game today, man. Obviously, I'm gonna be consistent with dying on the hill of Tom Brady, Thomas Patrick Edward Brady, and it was a great game. And I think I give a lot of respect to the Rams, and in this game, I want to. When we talked about appropriate blame rating percentage or what have you, I was getting infuriated with the Bucks defense. But at the same time, like I said, hey, if it's not for them, the game isn't as close as it was. You don't really necessarily have an extra piece to go up against a defense like the Rams, even though, people give it to Tom Brady and say, oh, well, you don't need much. So Godwin is out. And even the guy, Grayson, right? The receiver, Grayson, who filled in for Antonio Brown when he had left in that game against the Jets, he was even out. So you were down in there. Then you have Warfs, who he was out. his backup ended up getting hurt, and then you was left with a rookie trying to fulfill that position and trying to like stop the onslaught of Von Miller and Aaron Donald. In that game, Brady was pressured 17 times, the most he has all season. Von Miller had 9 of those pressures, and then obviously the strip sack. And so the Rams, they did everything they could to just about almost lose the game. They are the 4th team in NFL history to lose 4 fumbles in a playoff game, yet still find a way to win. You talk about the luck of the draw, Coach Johnson, and like things really not being in your control there. And yeah, so far Brady is 0-3 against the Rams since he's come over to the Bucs, man. Disappointed, you know, obviously see Brady lose, but I think he did the best he could with what he had. He had an interception, he had a lost fumble, so I'm not gonna sit here acting like, oh, it's not Brady's fault. You know, he played a role in that. Did the best he could. I know coming in, people were trying to give him praise, like, oh, Brady's gonna get rid of the ball pretty fast. But also too, I didn't really like yes, Brady didn't have, I guess if you want to say, enough time, but I didn't like the route. I didn't really like those play calls for the majority of the game. It was a lot of stuff that seemed like, all right, as vicious as this defense is, as depleted as your offensive line, as vulnerable as your offensive line may be, these plays seem like they're taking entirely too long to be able to develop for Brady to even have a chance to like get it somewhere. So that's what I saw looking back at the tape, and so I was kind of just like, But in the end, they found the complementary football, right? Complementary football, team effort that was able to tie the game back up. But Cooper Kupp put on a boot boot. May I have this dance? Back-to-back plays, and inevitably, you know, the Rams won the game. So yeah, it was a great game, and yeah, I give a lot of respect to the Rams. I don't know if we will continue to see the whole fumbleitis with the offensive snap and Cam Akers and Cooper Kupp. But yeah, much respect to them. I think they're a team that be reckoned with. I know some people may feel indifferent about that.
Big shout out to Tom Brady actually coming out on top in a certain way. Like he actually, his last possession was a positive possession. So, you know, even though they lost the game, Tom Brady did have positive possessions to end the season.
If the defense could have held and they didn't go what was that, 15 personnel all out blitz, like just come on, man. They gift wrapped that game, and I feel like Brady would have got the ball at OT, and we all know what would have happened, bro. But
they tried to rattle a player they thought they could be rattled.
Yeah.
They tried to rattle a player they thought they could be rattled, but he's never been in that position. He was in Carolina. He was in Detroit with bad personnel who couldn't give him that opportunity. So when he got to the playoffs, he said, "Hey, I can play, y'all."
But even apart from that, like when me and you was talking earlier, Christian, yeah, the defense didn't play great, but like you were saying, that was the first time all the starters had finally been on the field together.
That was
the chemistry was out of whack completely, blown coverages, guys talking to each other before the ball snapping, like all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you had that also too. Matthew Stafford, you know, prior to this game was the number 4 most efficient quarterback against the blitz, according to PFF, in the league. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers blitz on defense more than any other team in the league. And so, you know, this is why since Tom Brady's been there, they have not beat the Rams because what the Rams are able to do on offense, they're able to take advantage of what the Bucs do well on defense. So without those turnovers, this should have been a 35-40, you know, to 7 blowout. But you know, with 4 turnovers, you know, you had that. So the team that was supposed to win, they won. You know, you had that there. as far as Todd Bowles calling the the zero blitz, I actually I'm okay with the call. I'm fine with the call because this is what Todd Bowles has always done, and so he's been successful with it before, and he just happened to get burnt on it. I would love to see him adjust sometimes. Hey, yes, we are a blitz heavy team,
but we getting killed.
But hey, we're not going to blitz today, right? But he's been very successful with it throughout his entire career, playing that way. They're not successful against the Rams, so we'll see. We'll see what they do. But as far as I'm here to try to bring some balance to the conversations. Everybody's riding the Rams very, very high right now. The Rams matched up very, very well against the Bucks, but the teams they're going to play here coming up next, they do not match up very well against. And also, too, Matthew Stafford has played pretty darn well in the playoffs so far. But let's remember, Matthew Stafford in the regular season tied the great Trevor Lawrence for the most interceptions thrown with 17 in the season. He has not thrown one yet in the playoffs. I would not be surprised if he delivers a couple of them to the 49ers, giving them a chance to have a rematch in the Super Bowl with the Chiefs.
Bro,
let's look out. Let's look out for that.
So much money this year because it's so fans that's gonna be like, yeah, bro, yeah, this the year, and not knowing that Melvin Ingram on the other side of Chris Jones in the middle of that defense and Tyrann Mathieu on the back end with Thornhill. Come on, man. It's going to be a thing to watch on defense because Melvin Ingram has been a revelation for the Chiefs.
He's been great. Also,
yeah.
too, the boy Nick Bolton has been.
He's been good too. Second, third round pick out of Missouri.
Yeah, second round pick out of Missouri. Yeah. He's been nice. He's been a nice revelation for that defense there. So Brett Veach looking all right, man.
So another game before I think we get to the big shebang. Everybody except Coach Johnson picked the Bengals. He picked the Titans. Ryan Tannehill, first pass of the game, intercepted. Second pass, his first pass of the game, he got intercepted. His first pass of the second half, he got intercepted, and his last pass of the game got intercepted. Derrick Henry. Well, we won't talk about Derrick Henry yet. Darnell, I know you said, hey, you just don't flat out believe in Tannehill. Was this execution by the Bengals? Was this execution on defense by the Bengals, or was Ryan Tannehill who we thought he was, or did we just far more believe in Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase now? That's funny, buddy.
All the above.
All the above.
Tannehill was garbage as usual. I felt like it was a thing of game planning because Derrick Henry was hurt and they got into a groove of playing without him, which was winging it, which has got him enough to get the number one spot. But once he got back into the mix, it's hard to get back into a game plan, especially when it's run based and when you got your quarterback thinking he's at the end of the day, man. It was a game plan situation, I felt. Now, if I felt like if Derrick Henry didn't get hurt and he stayed on the same stride, they could have won. But it was a little too late. I feel like could have put him in the last game of the year, getting warmed up, game plan, but it was just too late. And plus, these, like you said, Jamar and Burrow, man, that's a dangerous combination. It's looking scary out there.
Real quick, before you go, I personally think, and what kind of, like I said, alarmed me and made me inevitably go with the Bengals is that for some who may not know, Derrick Henry, you could say, coming back was a little bit of fool's gold because he had been on IR since week 8 or whenever he got hurt. And as they reached the playoffs, they were coming up on the deadline on anybody you had on IR. If you didn't activate them, they could no longer come back for the rest of the season. So the Titans decided to activate him. I think is an insurance policy for up the road if they continue to win, possibly get to the conference championship or the Super Bowl. And he came back and he looked all right, but it's not like he looked like the Derrick Henry of old.
Yeah, he was playing with a steel plate and 5 screws in his foot, so he was definitely out there being a warrior, most definitely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do. Well, somewhat feel bad for the Titans fans. As a Jazz fan, I don't feel bad for them at all. But as just a fan of the game, and somewhat feel bad for the Titans that, hey, this is the second year in a row that they are ending a home playoff game with a Ryan Tannehill interception. If y'all remember last year versus the Ravens, he threw an interception.
That's too many.
Yeah, an interception with a chance to go down and win the game while throwing to like the number 3 receiver. So you tried to throw to Tajay Sharp last year, got picked off by Marcus Peters.
Why are we not going to Julio Jones and AJ Brown?
Yeah, I mean, hey,
force feeding,
hey,
to the point to where it's painfully obvious.
Hey, you
He force feeded
one-on-one.
He force feeded AJ quite a bit for sure.
Yeah.
But no, he don't be showing Julio no love.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also too, Julio's not the same Julio, man.
Bro, Julio be getting up. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that.
Hey, how many touchdowns Julio had this year? Okay.
Isaac, hold on before y'all go. Isaac, you can credit or Sean Tannehill for that, or whoever the OC is, to say they're not involving him enough. But he's been injured too. But this has been his worst statistical season ever in his career. But
he was hurt. He was he didn't even play in 4 or 5 games.
Okay, yeah, we had a 17-game season, so he played in 10, 11, 12, and he had 1 touchdown last game of the year versus the Texans. Okay.
He might have been out longer than that, if I'm not mistaken. He missed a big chunk of time. I think
AJ Brown, 5 receptions, 142 yards, 1 touchdown, 9 targets. Julio, 6 receptions, 62 yards, no touchdowns, 7 targets.
Mm-hmm.
So he catching everything they give him, bro. It's just bro.
I'm not saying he's a bad receiver. I'm just saying he's not Julio. He's Julio Jones number 2. That guy. That's what he is now. He's not Julio. Just saying, it is what it is. We had to come. Hey, we had to come to this realization on AJ Green earlier this year, right? It took us some time to come to the realization that AJ Green is not AJ Green no more.
Yeah, AJ Green ain't that.
Julio Jones is not Julio Jones anymore.
I said this.
Julio Jones played in 10 games this season.
10 games, 1 touchdown.
I said that before. Julio Jones.
He wasn't getting targets in them games, Christian. He was getting 3 or 4 targets.
Yeah, he played 10 games this season, targeted 48 times total. I believe this probably just in the regular season he was targeted 48 times out of the 10 games.
Yeah, that's 4 targets a game.
Had 434 receiving yards.
Hey, you know what quarterbacks usually do? They usually throw to people who are open.
Yeah, the good ones usually do that, or the good ones will try to, hey, that's Julio Jones over there. I guarantee if somebody else had him, he wouldn't have been looking like that. I guarantee it, bro. I guarantee it. Ryan Tannehill.
Hey, you said the same thing about AJ Green last year, and look how that went. So
no, AJ Green was hurt. We couldn't even evaluate AJ Green. But what I'm saying is Ryan Tannehill definitely ain't that, and AJ Brown, you're not gonna tell me it's just sky level that much head and shoulders.
Right now, yes, he is. Right now, yes, he is.
That's crazy.
Yes, he is. Yes. AJ Brown.
I can't help but think that if he had another quarterback, he would be doing definitely way more than what he's doing.
If he had another quarterback, he'll still be a disappointment. I mean, I don't know who you want to give him. You give him Patrick Mahomes, he'll be a disappointment.
Wait, Christian. What he's trying to say is he's believing that some quarterbacks can fire up receivers and give them confidence.
He knows who's throwing to him. He knows that
I get that.
I ain't playing with a quarterback who is not faithfully going through progressions, notably. He knows that I'm a game manager at best. I am not paid to gunsling the ball. I am paid to manage the game to perfection because I have Derrick Henry, the workhorse of all workhorse running backs.
Also, I want to add this real quick, and so this sounds like is he reaching the end or is he at a cliff? So this year he only played 10 games, right? And last year he only played 9 games. So it's like it's a waiting in the water of whether it's injury or he's going through whatever growing pains of being in the league 10 plus years. So
yeah, man. I mean, how old is Julio now?
33, 34, maybe 32.
I mean, man, you know, it's been a great run, Julio. It's been a great run.
No, because that's understanding. Like, at least far as stats, even before Antonio Brown did what he
33,
did,
man. Hey,
he had. Nah, man, I see what he's saying though. Even though Antonio Brown did what he did, he was still able to put up some decent numbers for what the number 3 and number 4
AB when
you know
AB
what I'm saying?
was playing,
AB is still a top receiver in the league.
That's what I'm saying.
The difference between
I said, bro, AB was playing. AB was still unguardable.
The difference between Julio and why Julio in his 30s is not the same receiver that he was before versus what Antonio Brown is still able to do, and he probably will be able to do this for the next couple of years if a team will allow him to do it. Is that Antonio Brown never had elite
speed,
athleticism, right? He has always been a master craftsman, where it almost didn't make sense why he's making guys miss, why he's running routes that well, and all this stuff. Because hey, you know, he ran a 4.56 at the combine. He had a terrible combine, right? But you know, he comes in the game with the ball in his hands, and when he's running routes, somehow he figures out a way to get open. Where Julio Jones has always been bigger, faster, stronger than everybody else he's ever played against, and he's used that to his advantage. Now he's not that, right? I don't want to put him on the same level as like a Dez Bryant when Dez Bryant fell off, but I'm just saying it's akin to that. It's like, hey, you're no longer bigger, stronger, and faster than everybody else. There's another guy on the other side of the field who is what you used to be. You're not that anymore. That just needs to be understood. Now, as far as Ryan Tannehill, yes, Ryan Tannehill threw that joint away. You know, kudos to the Bengals defense for taking advantage of it.
That's all I'm saying.
But we do need to understand this. The only of all the people that we're talking about, right, throughout this entire year, the only player that was there the whole time that got them to 11 and 6 or whatever they record at 12 and 5, got them to 12 and 5, got them the number 1 seed. Ryan Tannehill. He was the only one that was still there. Okay, he got them there with 4th, 5th string wide receivers, figuring out the way to get it done without Derrick Henry, without AJ Brown, inconsistency from Julio Jones. He got them there.
You gonna pay him $150 million?
No, I ain't paying him no $150 million.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. We gotta.
But that's the market rate for the quarterback nowadays. So I ain't mad at him.
Not for every quarterback.
Not for every quarterback. Not for every quarterback. But we have to be able to have a category of, hey, look, Ryan Tannehill is not Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. He's not on that level. I'm gonna let you go, Sedacious, right? But he is not terrible, right? He's a very competent starting quarterback. If you put the right pieces around him, he can take you pretty far and into the playoffs, right? And so. You know, they were in the AFC Championship game a couple years ago. So, you know, I wouldn't you know go trashing Tannehill. I mean, hey, he played terrible. They were supposed to win the game. You know, all these flowers everybody throwing at the Bengals. Hey, look, they scored 1 touchdown.
Oh, you Dacious.
Go ahead, Stacious.
I resent that Dez Bryant statement because he played with Lamar Jackson.
Because of what?
He played with Lamar Jackson like maybe 1 or 2 years ago, maybe 3. I can't remember. So Dez Bryant, he's kind of still been able to do his thing just recently. So I don't think that Julio could.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's not anywhere close remnant to the fall off of Dez Bryant because Julio Jones was actually like well renowned as like the best receiver in football for a good period of time before DeAndre Hopkins started to, round off and form and become who he is. But let's not compare. Like it's Julio Jones.
I understand that.
Like, Dez Bryant.
I understand that. The reason why I was making that
I
comparison.
resent that.
That's not to say that
the reason
Dez
why I was
Bryant
making that
wasn't
comparison
good,
is
I know Dez Bryant was good.
The reason why I was making that comparison is where Dez Bryant was, right? As hey, he's not the top receiver in the league, but he was one of the top receivers.
But he was like
for
top
a while.
5. He was like at a time.
Yeah. So Dez Bryant was there. Hey, one of those guys that you want on your team, and then when he was no longer bigger, stronger, faster, can out jump everybody, he started to take a fall, right? It's been like that for Julio, right? And we are still remembering Julio as, oh snap, this the next Calvin Johnson. Oh my goodness, he's not that anymore, right? The guy on the other side, number 11. That's who Julio used to be.
All right, so move forward. One more game that happened divisional round. The Niners versus the Green Bay Packers, and Isaac, bro. I'm actually a grace. Bro. I've been thinking about it today. I haven't like pondered heavily on it, but I've definitely thought about it, bro. And I'm never, ever, ever, ever gonna forget about the smoke in the 28-3. I'm not gonna forget about that ever. Somebody background sound like noise. But bro, I think I gotta show a little. If Sedacious can't respect Josh Allen, if Christian could put some respect on the Chiefs name, bro. I ain't saying I'm completely converted or soul, but I gotta put a little bit of respect on Kyle Shanahan name, bro. I got to, dog. I got to.
I will ditto those sentiments, and I will also give credit where credit is due. He schemed up a masterful game against not only the Cowboys, but he schemed up a couple good games, and he gets the most out of his players, and he knows how to mask and hide Jimmy Garoppolo's deficiencies better than any coach that I've seen. He was masking and disguising them better than Bill Belichick would. Yeah.
So there's a lot of places I want to go with this game. So
hey, that was
he cried.
was touching right there. What?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of agreeableness going on.
Hey, Isaac, we don't have to. We just give him respect with respect is due. You know what I'm saying?
Respect the game, yeah.
Yeah, we respecting the game out there in the world. We ain't no haters. So before we can probably dive into Kyle and Jimmy a little bit more, but first and foremost, I don't know how y'all. I know it's a team sport, but heavy is the head who wears the crown. Nothing more, nothing less. Is this loss by the Packers Aaron Rodgers' fault? Or if we don't want to put a 100% blame, what is your percentage of blame that you give to Aaron Rodgers for not being able to get his team over the hump with the week off, time to rest, and finally being at home, which he said that's what he's been needing to possibly prevail and finally get to the Super Bowl, having some home games in the playoffs?
I give him about 33%.
Sedacious?
Give about 25%.
Shine hard? Back to you, Darnell, once Isaac gets his.
Um, I'm gonna give it. You know what? I'm gonna give Aaron Rodgers 40-45% of the blame.
Darnell, you on mute before you try to say what your answer is.
Mega
I'll
mind.
definitely have to say a solid 50%.
Okay. Coach Johnson, why 33%?
Because I mean, there were open throws that he just decided not to take. You know, we saw, you know, the last, I think it was just his last pass where he threw it in double covers to Devontae Adams. He had Alan Lazard of Iowa State legend Alan Lazard coming across the middle, wide open. He had a few plays like that where you know, he tried to force it into Devontae Adams or Aaron Jones, didn't trust his other players. You know, hey, I know these guys aren't first round picks, but these are the guys you got. And so, you know, he just didn't give him a chance. It was funny. Jimmy Ward, the 49er safety, went on Darius Butler's podcast this week and talked about it. It's like, hey, our game plan was just to stop Devontae Adams. He said we knew if we could take away him either pre-snap with our look pre-snap or post-snap, that we would have a chance. And after that first drive, that's what they did, and they gave themselves a chance. So, and Aaron Rodgers was not able to take advantage of that. Now, the reason why I gave him only 33% because, you know, y'all look at Matt LaFleur as offensive play caller to, you know, figure that out and scheme some stuff up for the other guys, which I'm not sure if he did a good enough job there. So, you know, you got that there. And then the special teams, obviously.
All right, so what I dislike, and I'm not directing this towards like you, Christian, but it's like when a great player is playing great or supposedly great player is like playing phenomenal, like nobody questions like the offensive play call. It's just like, oh, he's dialing them up. But then when his play isn't efficient or prominent, like the blame doesn't go to that guy not getting it done. It goes to maybe it's the play calling. Where you and yourself just said he was forcing the ball to Devontae Adams and so like who's to say plays weren't drawn up for other guys to get open, but Aaron Rodgers just was being hard headed about not trusting them.
I mean,
That wouldn't be
not sure. I'm not.
Coordinator's
Yeah,
fault.
yeah. I'm not in the huddle. I'm not on the intercom system there on the sideline with the Packers. So I'm not sure what's being called. But you know, there are plays where you can call where, hey, it's only one guy getting the ball and it's not Devontae Adams, right? Where Aaron doesn't have any choice but to throw to this guy, right? Those plays are available. Which they did that to Aaron Jones sometimes, but it's like, hey, okay, the only two guys were getting the ball are Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams. So, yeah, so I'm not sure, man. There's a lot of blame to go around, but obviously, yeah, you know, Aaron Rodgers. You expect from Aaron Rodgers what you saw from Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You expect that,
Yeah.
and we didn't get it.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, A-Rod, or we should probably call him A-Ron because he wasn't really Aaron Rodgers or discount double check, but 20 for 29 passing, 225 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. You talk about forcing it to Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams. Aaron Jones, 9 receptions for 129 yards, 10 targets. Devontae Adams, 9 receptions for 90 yards, 11 targets. Alan Lazard, that pass you was talking about, that was his only reception and his only target. And Mercedes Lewis, 1 reception for no yards and 1 target. So and he was sacked 5 times. He got a 91.9 passer rating. Sometimes the numbers can be skewed. Your defense holds the Niners to 3 points for a long majority of the game. So defense is holding up their end of the bargain. All right.
They really were.
Like defense is really holding up their end of the bargain for you. I would say Patrick Mahomes. Forgive me, Lord. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, don't say that. Don't
right.
say that.
Defense holds up their.
Cause that man don't need nothing.
Okay.
For Aaron Rodgers.
Good loud.
All right, and 6:15 mark. All Jimmy G got is 9. All Jimmy G got at the 6:15 mark in the fourth quarter is 9 for 17, 105 yards, and 1 interception. So the defense is also giving you a takeaway. Aaron Rodgers. Then where is it at? Where is it at? Where did it go? Sorry, that's a little bit. All right, so 6:15 mark. They go for the 4th and 1. What does your defense do? They get you a turnover on downs. Aaron Rodgers. It's 6:10 and y'all up. It's 6:10 left in the fourth. And y'all are up 10-3. And you go 3 and out. From there, that's when the block punt came, recovered for a touchdown. Now it's a tie ball game, 10-10. But you get the ball back again, Aaron Rodgers. A touchdown or maybe a field goal.
Nothing.
Nathan, you start off 1st and 15 because of a ineligible receiver. So you 1st and 15, ball on y'all 24, 4:28, and you go 3 and out. Not even a first down. And you look at Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams targeted a total of 21 times combined. So them passes probably didn't go to nobody, to either Aaron Jones or Devontae Adams, just off what the numbers gave us. You go 3 and out with 2 chances to either put yourself in a advantageous position to bring it home or possibly finish in overtime. But you get 2 opportunities. Your defense has been phenomenal for you with takeaways. You go 3 and out, and then they give Jimmy G and Kyle Shanahan the ball.
Hey.
And Jimmy G takes them to the promised land. He goes 2 for 2. He just needed to pass it twice, 2 for 2 for 24 yards and 2 first downs. And Deebo Samuels and everybody else handing it off took care of the rest. Like I said, man, heavy is the head who wears the crown, bro. When you numero uno, you head honcho, you top dog. When you have
MVP,
you the MVP. When you are the player who, yes, it's 11 players on the field, so many variables, but you have the domino effect variable. You have the domino effect variable, and you have a double domino effect variable in what some say the best receiver in the league. You were stripped of that. You couldn't adapt. We talk about other quarterbacks being able to spread the wealth. Hey, we're gonna take Stephon Diggs away from you, Josh Allen. Okay, Gabriel Davis, 4 touchdowns. I'll find my way. So
I mean, hey, you preaching right now, man. But that's what I'm saying. We expect from Aaron Rodgers. I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of blame does need to be put on his shoulders because we expect, like I said,
we blaming the front office because they put together a lot of hogwash with the roster, like they do every year. They expect Aaron Rodgers to make chicken salad out of chicken. You know what?
I mean, that roster's not that bad, bro. The roster's not that bad.
I don't think it's valid to blame the front office when he got you a first round bye, when he's an MVP. So why is it now? It wasn't their fault. I mean, why there was no praise on them when he used what he had to get them a first round bye.
He shouldn't win the MVP.
He shouldn't, but
Tom Brady should definitely win the MVP.
That's neither here or there, but let's not take away from the fact that Aaron Rodgers, who is supposed to be great, did not perform at a great level of expectation. Now, if there was no expectations on Aaron Rodgers and people was expecting him to be a Tannehill, by all means, I could care less about his performance. But no, like people try to regard you up there with the Bradys and with the Mannings and so on and so forth. Like I don't think you can like disrespect putting them up there in that upper echelon class when like he don't produce when you need him to produce.
Hey, well, okay. Look,
And I know most artists, yo, he's a great quarterback. Yo, like your talent doesn't always coincide with like you producing as a player. So I'm not saying he's not a great
I understand
talent,
that.
no, but yeah. So, but yeah,
I understand that, but no, I would not take him away from being inside that echelon that you just talked about. But I mean, hey, he played a terrible game the other day. That is what it is. Evidence obvious. He played terrible. He's 0-4 now versus the 49ers, his childhood favorite team, who he thought he was going to get picked by number one. It's been, his kryptonite, his whole career. So,
told them boys they was gonna be sorry about not drafting him.
Hey,
I feel like he's.
hey, you know what's funny?
You know what's funny?
I saw a tweet today from somebody that was like, man, even though we passed up on Aaron Rodgers in the draft, he still got us 4 playoff wins. So that was funny, dog.
At the beginning of the year, man. It's like I was saying at the beginning of the year, he's actually showing the front office, just like he said in that interview preseason, like, this is what I got. And I'm gonna show y'all what I got. And I feel like he's sulked again. I feel like he could have done better based on his talent. And I feel like he wanted to do the blame game. Like, well, y'all didn't give me enough weapons. So here you go.
Break down your terminology for like soaking again, because we clowned you in terms of him quote unquote soaking for the entire year, and now he's kind of running up the MVP, and it didn't look like he was having a soaking season. So when you say soaking, what does that look like?
All right. Well, at the beginning of the year, you had first off, when you play teams, is some teams I feel like they say, you know what, we're gonna give our all, but we know we're not gonna be the best at it. And there's games that's like, you know what, we can win this. I feel like Green Bay got that pass, but a lot of teams of like, dude, we're not gonna be able to beat them because of Aaron Rodgers, and they accepted that one game. Okay, when the Saints played them, it was the first game of the year. You had all the time in the world to prep for them. We're gonna punch them in the mouth, get our season started off right. So I feel like it balanced out. I feel like Green Bay wasn't intact, they wasn't on point, and the Saints game plan for them, so they got the win. And also, he was kind of sulking about, not having enough weapons. Therefore, regular season happens. You know what? He's over it. He's going to give his best. He's going to, make sure he's Aaron Rodgers, and he did that. Now, a lot of teams, when they went up against him, say, you know what, dude, this is Aaron Rodgers. Like, let's lose before we start playing. People may not want to admit that, but sometimes you just do that. Like, you just kind of, you give up before you even start. So when you look at it, the worst thing they could have done was get a first round bye, because it gave them more time to study. All right, they already garbage as it is, according to other teams. Like, yeah, you got Aaron Rodgers, yeah, you got Aaron Jones, and you got the receiver, but it's like, who else do they got? And they gave them time to like study. Like, that's all like the secondary said, that's all you got. So therefore, we're gonna let you try to win with 2 people, which is very hard to do. It was very close to do, but it's like, no, you have nobody else. You said it in an interview that you have nobody else. So you think the league ain't watching this? Of course they're watching this, and they're gonna get into a position where, you know what, beat us with just that. And that's what happened. And Aaron Rodgers already knew, so he was already self-defeated. He's going onto the field knowing, like, dude, this is all I got against an actual pretty good defense and a good play caller. So I'm pretty much screwed. But I'm gonna do what I can with this little crappy team y'all gave me. And so therefore, he just said, all right, I'm going to be Rodgers, but this is all you're going to get. You're going to get Jones, and you'll get the receiver. Boom, 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 boom. Nothing else. This is all you got from me, because I gave me nothing else, because nobody wants to come to Green Bay. So
that's something, dude. Like, he knew what was going to happen. He did his best, which is give his
2 primary targets all the targets.
So you think he self-sabotaged it because he already knew the end was near and he just didn't care, and it was just Aaron Rodgers.
It's not self-sabotage if you already it's not self-sabotage when you already know what's gonna happen. It's like, dude, it's inevitable. Like, this is all I got. I am great. yes, this is inevitable. Like, there's nothing I can do about this. This is all I got. Other teams will see what I got. Other good staff are going to see what I got, and it's going to be over eventually. I may pray that I get a sucky defense to play against, but that's all in God's power. But yeah, like that, he knew it.
Okay.
I would,
Thanos got it. Inevitable.
Yeah,
He knew it.
I put more than like I give him more than the 50%. Like I said, heavy is the head who wear the crown, and there wasn't really variables in place that prevented you from being able to take over and win the game. But question to go around.
Hey, before we leave the game, hey, can we throw a little bit of respect on DeMeco Ryan's name though? Defense coordinator.
DeMeco Ryan, a former Texan.
Defense coordinator for 49ers. I think he should probably get assistant coach of the year because there's no reason that defense should be as good as it is. Right. Yes, they have an elite defensive line.
Are that back personnel?
Yeah, from a personnel standpoint, that defensive backfield is not good. It is not good. It's probably personnel-wise, I would say probably bottom 10 in league. But they have consistently have one of the best defenses in the league the entire year.
Coach did say you had that personnel.
Thank you, somebody. I was like, wait, no, somebody.
Yeah, because I couldn't take it no more either.
What are you talking about? I'm not oblivious.
You criticize personnel when someone said you're not good at. That's what we're getting at.
Yeah, but okay, this is pretty clear across the league that the 49. This is not just me saying this. I'm relaying what smarter people than I. Okay, hey, okay, who they have starting at corner? Anybody know their names?
Nope.
Bueller.
They got Josh Norman.
Josh Norman. Josh Norman, who had to come off the bench. Who has not been good since 2015.
He hasn't. And he stole money too. He got over.
And he was starting for the 49ers earlier this year and was on the bench.
And got benched.
He was on the bench. He was the fourth corner on the bench, had to come in the game because one of the rookies, who was a practice squad guy, got hurt. Ambry Thomas, who was, I think, a 6 or 7 round pick, maybe he went undrafted, is their best corner. And this dude has been getting cooked all year. But somehow that defense has been one of the top defenses in the league. Yes, they do have an elite front defensive line. Yes, but that back end is not good. Yes, Jimmy Ward, he's a good player, but he's not a top 5 safety.
All right, so to piggyback off that, Christian, addressing y'all individually, Isaac, would you take Jimmy G or Dak Prescott?
Dak Prescott.
Coach Johnson, Jimmy G or Dak Prescott?
I would take Jimmy G actually. Can I caveat? I would take Jimmy G or Kyle Shanahan. I'll take Jimmy G. I'm gonna take Jimmy G. I'll take Jimmy G.
Black Peace, Jimmy G or Dak Prescott? Sedacious, Jimmy G or Dak Prescott?
Take Dak.
All right, so you'll take Dak. So
on record, I'm taking Kirk Cousins over Jimmy Garoppolo as well.
Okay, so as you said, Christian, who are these guys on defense? Salute to DeMeco Ryans for using what he has. But despite the defensive, what may seem like defensive deficiencies and guys getting cooked, you have Jimmy G there at the quarterback position, who is 35-15 with Kyle Shanahan, including in the playoffs. And without Kyle Shanahan, without Jimmy G, Kyle
Oh.
Shanahan is 8-28 without him, and 35-15 without him. Jimmy G is 21-6 on the road as a starter, and has the highest win percentage on the road since 19.
He be
Second
getting
highest since the 1970s.
buried and saved because he finds ways for the 49ers schools. He like, defense, bail me out of this. Ooh, Kyle, scheme me out of that.
Hey man, all I'm saying is whether you like
Jimmy G, all right, though.
whether you like Jimmy G or whether you don't like him, whether you think I don't know, people think he's elite, whether you think he's good enough not to
He
mess
has
it
been
up.
a product of great coaching his whole career.
He's a good student.
Great student.
All I would say all the more to give respect and kudos to Kyle Shanahan for what he's been able to do with Jimmy Garoppolo, regardless of how you feel about him or his mediocre play. That's why I think all the more praise should be given to Kyle Shanahan for what he's been able to do with Jimmy G. Yeah. And I also thought about this too, Christian. I don't know if you would agree with this, but some of your takes and predictions coming into the season, you were saying, "Oh, hey, Teddy Bridgewater or whoever, like they're decent enough. Everything around them is great. All they got to do is not mess it up, and they could get somewhere." And I don't know if that may like be a jaded perception you have because you watch Kyle Shanahan do what he got going on with Jimmy G. And you think it may just be easy for that to happen to anybody because Kyle Shanahan makes it work.
No. I think I'm jaded. I'm jaded by the fact that I had stopped watching football from like 2012 to like 2016, and in 2017 season I started watching football again, and I became a big fan again. And it happened to be the Jaguars year that they finally put it all together. And I saw current offensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers, who might end up being the Broncos' new head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, figure out a way to make Blake Bortles look very competent and get them to 10 minutes away from the Super Bowl. And from that, I also saw that year Case Keenum go to the NFC Championship. And so from that, I was baptized in a mediocre quarterback with competent play around him can make it happen. And so, that became my bias, and I always looked forward to be true. And then I saw what Kyle Shanahan was able to do throughout his career with mediocre guys and making them look better. And so, so I thought past tense that could be something that could work. But from what I've, hey, when data changes, your thoughts need to change. So the data has shown, hey, look, either you need an absolutely elite guy, or you need a certain baseline level of quarterback play that is elevated by the rest of the team, right? Teddy Bridgewater and guys like that are not at that baseline level. Jimmy G is at that baseline level. A Derek Carr is at that baseline level. A Kirk Cousins at that baseline level. Depending on what day it is, sometimes Dak is at the baseline level. Sometimes Dak fluctuates between that baseline level and being one of the top quarterbacks in the league, depending on the day. But you need a baseline level of quarterback play to be able to take advantage of. Okay, hey, the rest of the team is great. Now we can go somewhere. And Jimmy G is that. Quarterbacks like Teddy Bridgewater are not, though.
Yeah, no, man. Great episode. We won't have to go over picks right now because that take too long. Just text me y'all picks.
I think that could be pretty quick here, bro. Edward.
All right, don't be trying to dissect me. Just give me your picks. Go.
49ers Chiefs. Super Bowl.
Rams Chiefs.
I'm gonna go with Rams Chiefs.
We're going Rams, Chiefs. Chiefs winning the whole thing. Chiefs Kingdom. Patty Mahomes.
Darnell, you said 49ers. What did you say, Darnell? You said
Rams.
Rams, Chiefs.
In a world.
Christian, Dacius, Isaac, 49ers, Chiefs.
No, I'm Rams.
Everybody else
Chiefs.
wanted the Rams, dog. Everybody else wanted the Rams.
Oh,
And the only one was the
And
49ers.
said Niners, Jimmy Garoppolo finna throw that away against Jalen Ramsey. You know who on the other side of that, son? Do you know who
what?
on the other side?
Christian is the only one. Rams, Chiefs.
Edward. Actually, let me go with Fred Warner. I want to go with Fred. I'm gonna go 49ers.
All right, so me and Sedacious 49ers. Everybody else Rams.
Yeah. Ooh, somebody got some like some gas on that blow? Like, what's up?
Bruh, can we just enjoy the game?
Man, shut up. You ain't talking about no
You
cash.
always
hate
want to
that
throw
so
some.
much.
I'm talking to everybody who talking cash. Who talking cash money.
Coach
Hey.
Johnson, Sedacious, 49ers, Chiefs. Isaac, Darnell, Rams, Chiefs.
Yes, sir.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
Can't lose.
Who you going with? Hold up.
Yeah,
I
you
don't-
don't get
I
off
don't-
this.
I don't know yet. I think 49ers,
He
Chiefs.
look
will be
over
great.
opposite.
This nigga gonna put us on the spot and then say I don't know.
No,
I
I
told y'all
we
that
got to
y'all
close
didn't
the
have
show
to
out.
vote.
I put us on the spot.
Oh, yeah,
was trying to
okay,
close the show
yeah.
out.
My bad.
Trying to close the
I
show
mean,
out.
I'm
the
gonna
ball
post the
today.
graphics, so I'll make my decision by then.
I fuck with the game today.
Well, I said don't dissect it, so I won't. But yeah, I'll post my picks. I'll post our picks. 49ers Chiefs would be great for the storyline of our podcast. To see Patrick Mahomes shred, possibly or possibly not shred the Rams defense will be even greater, a greater storyline. So I don't know. I'll make my decision by the time I post our graphic. Give us
You
y'all
got the
picks.
Chiefs already. Clearly, you got the Chiefs.
Give us.
Hey,
Oh yeah, I got. Well, no, that was one of my picks. I had
Yeah.
the Bucks and the Chiefs going, so I for sure got the Chiefs. I just haven't decided between the Niners or the Rams.
Hey,
Yeah.
I do want to be petty for once, real quick. I do want to give Sean Hart credit for choosing NFC West team to make it to the NFC Championship game before the season.
I don't have
not-
any biases, man. I'm
It's not,
not like
it's not either one. It's not either one that he thought would be there, but you know, he picked the NFC West team, so just give him some credit there. And also too, you know, hey, the 49ers have outlasted the Cardinals, but you know,
Ooh, nobody cares about this bag niggas. Just talk up
Yo,
the night,
man,
talk amongst just so they can lose.
Give us y'all picks in the comments, beautiful people. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. Make sure you follow us at EMEX at Shine Hard, Izzo, at Sedacious, at Quaz the Motor, at Black_Peace, and make sure you check out Black Pieces podcast, Talking Smoke. We will see you beautiful people next week, and please put your picks for the NFC and AFC championship game in the comments, man, so we can show you some love or troll you if you get it wrong. Thank you for listening. See y'all next week.